Hey everybody, and welcome to the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman on today, and of course we're gonna have a lot of fun. Now, what I wanted to get into was the future of a Pulsechain with Richard Hart. Richard Hart and the future Pulsechain's got to be good. Got to be good. Huge victory on the 28th there from for the SEC, defeated by Richard Hart and his super lawyers, the Dream Team. And of course, fantastic news there coming out there. So, what does the future look like for Pulsechain? We're going to get into a full presentation on that today's live stream. This is our daily crypto show, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, if you're a project team, you want to get a brand spot on the show, connect up with me, and we can talk about that as well. I've got a couple of project teams coming on this week ahead of us. So it's going to be very, very exciting for that as we're expanding our content. You'll also see a big ramp up on the channel covering politics. So we're obviously increasing politics. Also going to be increasing a number of other topics as well, including finance and sports and a few others. So it's going to be a lot of fun on the channel in terms of that sort of variety. So I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the bell and all that good stuff. Now, without further ado, we're going to be covering the crypto markets at the moment over the weekend. A nice little tiny little minute sort of rebound or consolidation there, and we're going to get into Pulsechain obviously, and also a few projects as well as the Titan X ecosystem, which is also bounced back today as well. It's always nice to see green, isn't it, in the house? So let's check that out. All right, without further ado, let's check it out. Now, I want to get into some of the product offerings here in the community on the Kryptonite Show. And of course, we've got 3 offerings at the moment. The first one is the Kryptonite Discord access. That's $5 a month. You can find the links in the video description and join up today, become part of about 1,100 or so community members there. It's only $5 a month. It's like a cup of coffee. You get access to many chats and audio chats. A great community. We've got a great bunch of people and a very trustworthy environment. So very, very cool there. Check that out. And of course, I'm in there as well. Now, if you want to join our crypto strategy club there, that is $35 a month. The link's in the video description for that, of course. And we're putting intel in there just about every day. In fact, I think every day we're putting a whole ton of intel in there. In fact, I got a major update today for the strategy club as well. So if you're a member there, big shout out to all those people. And then, of course, I've got a brand new product, which I'm just talking about today, which is one-on-one with Superman. So that's a good discussion every month. That's $99 a month for a 45-minute discussion. You can join up to that today. That's brand new, and I'll be promoting that in the weeks ahead. So get in on that as well. I do have a 4th product coming up, but I'll leave that a secret for the time being. But in any case, 1-to-1 every month, and you can talk about crypto, finance, economics, things like that. We can talk about, so get in there and become part of that one-on-one with Superman, private conversations there, and of course, confidential as well. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Get in there. The links are in the video description to join up to that, which is pretty cool. The other thing, of course, get in the chat there and get lively. We've got MVS in the house there. Good to see you. Morning. Big shout out to MVS the other day as well, covering the Finvestor ecosystem. Did a great job there as well on the show. So first time MVS is really going from strength to strength on a number of areas. So big shout out to you there as well. All right, so let's jump over to the next topic. We're going to get into the markets. The markets at the moment looking pretty green. You got to be happy about that. In fact, let's quickly change our purview and get into where that is at the moment. So that is Bitcoin, $86,241, up 2.3%. At least that's upwards, right, rather than down. We got all the way down. We're going to look at that on the Bitcoin chart. But 86,239, not bad. We'll take that, even though it's not back in the 90s. We broke that 92,000, and we went down. Now we've bounced back a bit to 86,242. This is around just above fair value, what people were saying, versus the monetary supply. We covered that yesterday's in the economic analysis. Ethereum there at the moment, $2,200. Man, what a price to get in on Ethereum at the moment. That's a pretty damn good price if you ask me, $2,200. And we're pretty flat there. And that's exactly where I said the support zone was. So well done to me. I don't know where Brennan's in the chat there. Well done to me, Brennan. Brendan's our TA guru. He's really amazing at his stuff. But yeah, called that pretty well there. So not bad. In fact, I've almost forgotten. I think that might be around where his areas as well, but I'll have to talk to him about that because I can't remember exactly where he thought it was going to be. XRP at the moment up 2.5%, $2.19. That's kind of where we are at the moment. BNB, they're down up 3.7% as well. And we got Tron up 0.5%, 23.3 cents. ADA is up pretty nicely there, 5.7%. You would think that ADA would be down, right? Because Hodgkinson got it wrong with Richard Hart and the SEC and fraud, right? Pretty stupid. Looks like egg on his face now after losing the court case there. But hey, look, we're a welcoming community, Hodgkinson. We'll welcome you back into the fold. That's the way it goes, because Richard Hart really is leading the DeFi revolution in crypto, and the big wins there today in the SEC. That's not easy to do, to beat the SEC. Not easy at all. All right, so let's scroll over here to the Bitcoin chart. We can see on the daily, we are back over the 200-day moving average. Isn't that positive? So 200-day moving average is at 85,623. We're currently at 85,952. So very important to hold that. And we haven't got too long to go, about just under an hour. And we could hold that line there, and that'd be a pretty good close over the 200-day. Not bad, not bad. It's just the dip. It's just the dip before March's glory. Now, we do have the tariffs on Tuesday next week going into place. Remember, there's tariffs on Mexico. I think they've got a 25% tariffs on everything and 10% on oil imports, I think it is, and oil exports. And then there's the Canadian tariffs in there as well, I think, is also there. And what else they got? They got tariffs on China as well. I think it was 10% extra, so it's 10% on 10% on 25%. So yeah, we've got Mexico, Canada, and China's tariffs kicking in on Tuesday there. So, but the market knows about it, so presumably it's priced in. But the market's a little bit fickle, so we'll see what happens on Tuesday next week. Apart from that, March is looking pretty good in terms of the monetary supply, and so hopefully we'll get a nice little rally after this correction as well in March, and we'll get back on track towards altcoin season that everyone is waiting for, right? So that's got to be the play there. So we're at 85,876, not too bad. The 50-day is curling down there, and we're at 95,272 there on the old 50-day, the yellow line there. So we'll see how we get on next week and leading into March, and have a green March. That's what we're looking forward to there. Now, February did end up being negative 17.4% for the month, so that broke our history. Now that's the third month that was negative for February. It was typically our second best month. But hey, the positive news, we've started March off with a 1.4% green, and let's see if we can, maybe hold that through and have a nice green, strong month. Maybe we'll have a real powerful month. Maybe we'll get 25, 30, 40% returns in March after maybe next week, after the tariffs get absorbed. Let's see where that goes from here. So that's kind of cool. Now we know that Richard Hart is in the house, so well done to Richard Hart again. You can't say enough about that. It takes a lot of personal fortitude, but like Trump going through all those ridiculous legal court cases from the Democrats, you have to have a lot of emotional fortitude, and Richard's definitely shown some grit there. You hire the superstars, of course, in terms of legal lawyers and stuff, and he's done pretty amazing there. So Richard Hart, big shout out to you. Pretty awesome there. So Richard Hart actually posted about the judgment yesterday, which I happened to have up, and that's from Reuters. So the judgment for Richard Hart was on Reuters. U.S. judge dismisses the SEC fraud lawsuit against Hex founder. So huge there. That's by Nate Raymond there on the Reuters. So big deal there. A federal judge dismissed on Friday a lawsuit by U.S. securities regulator accusing an online entrepreneur, that's Richard Hart, raising more than $1 billion through unregistered cryptocurrency offerings and defrauding investors out of $12.1 million to buy luxuries, including the world's largest black diamond. Of course, that was all pretty ridiculous there. U.S. District Judge Carol Amon in Brooklyn cited the lack of ties between Richard Hart's alleged conduct in the United States in deciding to toss the SEC 2023 lawsuit out against Richard Hart, a U.S. citizen residing in Finland. The SEC had, of course, let me just get rid of that little box there. The SEC had, of course, alleged that Hart, also known as Richard Schuller, touted his Hex token Pulsechain asset platform and Pulsechain asset network on YouTube and other websites as pathway to grandiose wealth. The SEC in its lawsuit said Hart knew his often tongue-in-cheek disclaimers that his offerings were not securities were false, including what he said that HEX was capable of 38% annual returns and built to be the highest appreciating asset ever existed in the history of man. That's the end of the quote there. He was also accused of spending Pulsechain investor funds on McLaren and Ferrari sports cars, 4 Rolex watches costing $3 million, and the Enigma, the 555 carat black diamond stone diamond, costing 3.16 million British pounds, of course, which he won at Sotheby's, and that was pretty badass if you got to say that much. But Amon said that online statements at issue were directed to a global audience, not the US, one specifically, that the SEC failed to allege he engaged in transactions with US-based investors through his websites. Remember, the SEC was really trying to pin it on one person that had been involved in the Pulsechain sacrifice, who based in New York, and it was very weak. I mean, you thought that was a newbie lawyer mistake, that one, in my view. And hey, look, the first arguments were written, I don't know, were they written by the junior lawyer or something? I don't know what was going on there. To the extent the complaint alleged Hart misappropriated investor funds through deceptive transactions, those actions were entirely broad, the judge wrote. The alleged misappropriation occurred through digital wallets and crypto asset platforms, none of which were alleged to have connection to the United States. Spokesperson for Hart said in the statement that the judge ruling in favor of crypto founder and his projects of the SEC brings a welcome relief and opportunity to all cryptocurrencies, which is huge too, right? So it's a big deal for crypto as well. The SEC did not respond to a request for a comment. So that was the big news, and Richard Hart posted that out there from Reuters. Pretty cool. I'm going to post that in the chat there if you guys want to check that out. It's well worth having a look there yourself. You can spread that around also. So that is that there, and I'll post that link in the screen there. So that is pretty huge news, right? Pretty huge news for sure. We got Magnus in the house there. Hey, Magnus, hope you're doing well out there. Big shout out to you. Loving that thumbnail there, that little profile picture of the bill. Bring on the Bulls, as they say. So that was from Richard Hart, and big news, right? We covered that yesterday too. In fact, we may have been the first YouTube channel to cover that. I saw 1 or 2 YouTube channels in the Pulsechain community covering it afterwards, but it looks like we've got that historical coverage there. Nice. We keep doing that. We're crushing it on this channel in terms of Pulsechain. We got people might one day believe Richard Hart paid the SEC to file a case against him that's weak enough to be blown over by the sneeze. That's right, but finesse. Well said. Well said. All right, get in the chat there. Get those comments in. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so Pulsechain today. Let's do day 659. We're going to put about 45 minutes towards the end of the day, about day 659 on Pulsechain, and it is free from the SEC. Now, I'm going to talk about there is a 20-day window for the SEC to come back with better arguments, but their arguments were so bad, and they got knocked out of the park there. And, of course, Richard's lawyers were so good that the chances of that, in my view, are very, very low, especially under the new administration, right, which is crypto friendly and wanting to get rid of all these court cases. And we've seen them drop several bigger ones already. Pulse there, quadruple 0423, up 3.34% after yesterday's big rally. This is kind of what I expected to happen. We talked about this yesterday. We're at 42% of the mean sacrifice price. But hey, look, this is going to start running away at some stage, probably in March, is my guess, assuming we don't have anything big unexpected in the markets. This is we're going to probably have that slow little hockey creep as well, is probably what's going to happen here. There are a couple of scenarios, but I think that one's probably going to play out. Pulse at the moment is at quadruple 04, up 9.32%, and we're at the buy and burn there 1.29 trillion, which is pretty exciting. So we've got up to the 20th of March for the SEC to get in here, and let's see what happens. But I see it so low that the market will probably just run anyway, is the way there. Not financial advice, of course, but we're just making probability judgments. Incentive token there is at $2.69, up 6.66%. The ratio at 63,729 pulse, looking really good. And the supply at 55 million. And as if you've missed it, Richard Hart and his team have reduced the inflation by 20x down to 5% of what it was. So INC is relatively scarce now because the inflation is super, super low. Hex at the moment, 1.29 cents, up 5%, and EHEX at 1/3 of a penny. The combined price of EHEX and PHEX is at 1.62 cents, so sitting pretty decent there. And we're expecting big things for Hex in this bull market, several dollars. So if you can get it at 1.3 cents and it goes several dollars in this bull market, you'll be very happy indeed. All right, so let's move on. We're going to go to the gas prices. before we get into the Richard Hart and the future of Hex with my presentation. We're at 1.7 million beats today. Remember yesterday we were at 55 million beats. That was crazy, right? So we're at 3 cents for a Pulsechain swap at the moment. Yesterday it was like 90 cents. And Gwei on Ethereum is 1 Gwei. We're 30 times cheaper than Ethereum today. Yesterday we were about the same, right? About the same. It was 0.92 if I remember rightly. Now we go to validators, 47,200 validators on Pulsechain. That's been going up slowly. That's a good sign. Confidence coming into Pulsechain. Expect that number to go up quite a bit, actually, that validator number. So if you want to become a validator, get your Pulse now, and 32 million Pulse. There is that derivative product, right? I think the NFT product or whatever it was, that can also get those and get part of a validator. The bridge at the moment is sitting at 111.3 million. So I think we're up about 700,000 from yesterday, if I remember right. I think we're about 10.2 or something. So maybe we're up about a million, maybe a top end of that. So yeah, I think it was it 10.2, 10.6 yesterday. I can't remember, but we're at that half a million or a million, somewhere like that in the bridge. Keep a lookout for that number. I'm expecting that number just to climb, baby. And of course, as the market conditions, if they recover in March, like we're hoping, then that would be pretty exciting, right? So that is Pulsechain. Let's have a look at the volume. 78.6 million. Yeah, fantastic volume today. And expect that to do some magic things in the months ahead as well. We've got 368,000 transactions. We've got a number of token projects here doing pretty well. I'm going to jump through a few here, though. We've got some new ones here. A lot of these are launching on Pump.tires, Richard Hart's team's new meme site that comes over to PulseX if they reach what was about $32,000 in value or something like that. 36,000. MV will know. MV, is it 36? I think it's about 36,000. Let me know, MV, about that one. So yeah, we've got ALGO here. That's up 13%. Not too bad. It's been around for over a year. Let's have a look at us at 9mm. So our second biggest DEX behind PulseX is at 4.2 cents. That's up 9.5%. Nice little recovery there. What else is looking pretty interesting? Pika. It's been around for 8 months. That is up 7%. Teddy Bear from James Maria. Big one that Moon King, the big influencer, likes. Up 5.5% there as well. PulseX, of course, we covered that, is up 3%. And one of the best performers, of course, PTGC, the grades is up 2% there at 0.0085. So we've got a few little movers there. So very, very cool, right? Now, the Magic Carp ride, while Ether's down dramatically, right? So $2,200. That's dramatic. So where is the Magic Carp ride on Pulsechain? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we do, let's get into our presentation on the future of Pulsechain, Richard Hart. So we've got a few comments in the chat, though. We've got Hexcavator in the house there. Hey, gang. Good to see Hexcavator. Hope you're doing well. And we've also got Blair in the house here, too. What's Blair saying? Hi, or good. Howdy, Blair. Good to see you as well. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you want to join Discord, we've got 3 different products at the moment. $5 general membership, and we've got the $35 strategy club membership for crypto. And then we've also got the brand new one there, the one-on-one with Superman. That's myself, and we can talk about crypto and finance and things like that in a private conversation once a month. So definitely check that out as well. All right, getting an early bird on that one. All right, so the future of Pulsechain. Let's get into it. So we have going to revisit this. So recent moves that we've seen on Pulsechain. We've seen Pulsechain developers, of course, continue to develop. We covered one of the ecosystems for Investor the other day, which is using a lot of imbalancing bots to create value and airdrop people valuable tokens like Pulse and Finvestor and other things like that. So we've seen a lot of innovation there. And of course, we do try to cover the innovative products on Pulsechain. Now, look, it's none of them investment advice because it's all speculative, crypto speculative. Some cryptos are more speculative than others. But we try to do our best to cover, long-term investment type of cryptos as well as speculative ones as well. Just take that into account. Now, tri-stables. Now, obviously, recent moves we've seen with tri-stables. We've seen Richard Hart launch on PulseX. We saw him launch USDC, USD Tether, and DAI tri-stables there with start off with a pretty good return, 11-12%. I'm not sure what it is today, but it's normally at least a couple percentage points, which is pretty cool. And that's thickened up the supply there. Very cool move. Incentive token inflation was cut by 20x, which means it's only at 5%. So there's 55 million tokens. So it's only inflating very slowly now. We saw about 40%, I think, of PulseX farm funds disappear after that, but it's still sitting pretty solid at 60%. And that also means that thinner liquidity with Hart's law and the constant function for Uniswap V2 means that it goes up as a square, right? Also goes down as a square, but goes up as a square, meaning that we could get a lot of pumpermentals. And now that we've got the SEC thing out of the way, man, where are we going to go from here? Pretty cool. The other one is we've seen Pulsechain Farms LP thinner. I just talked about that, down 40%, meaning that pumpermentals on Hart's law and the X going up as a squares even more. Richard Hart posted out some posts about that. So he's just letting people know, signaling you what's going to happen. So it's kind of cool. And of course, he launched Pump.tires, which a lot of people have been making money out of. It's a very speculative, meme coin kind of site. If you become king of the hill on there with your project, that gets, in other words, gets bought up, it ends up getting moved over to Pulsex. So people have been playing that both typically on the pump side because it's probably the more profitable play. But because often you see when it goes Pulsex, a lot of them get sold off, but then some of them, some of the earlier ones in particular, some of the bigger ones do manage to actually continue on. So we'll see where they all go in the future. And then, of course, what do we hear? This is the latest thing, right? The 28th of February, we won the SEC case victory. Fantastic, right? You can't beat that. Now, that used to be in future moves. That is now a big, big victory, and you cannot understate the value of that. That is massive. That means people can come over to the chain and arguably invest, right? Arguably invest their capital. So we saw maybe about $40 million or so leave the bridge on the 31st of July last year after the court case was announced by the SEC. Remember that Pulsechain there, the fork was the 10th of May, 23. The go live was I think the 13th of May, 12th, 13th of May, something like that. And so the 31st of July wasn't too far after that, was it? And we saw obviously a lot of money leave and go over the bridge. But of course, I'm expecting a lot of that to come back. So kind of cool. And we saw today we're at about $111 million in the bridge at the moment, at the current market values too, after the pullback. SEC case victory, big deal, really big. Investor confidence can now start to build back up into Pulsechain. That is huge. So the future of Pulsechain, very big now. We've only got one little caveat to that, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So future moves. That's what the video is about. The future of Pulsechain. We've got a couple more comments. We've got Vincent House there. Trump on Pulsechain, and you are still charting? No, I haven't been charting that, I don't think, Vince. I've been charting the Trump token on Ethereum, which is the original one, but I haven't really been looking at one. But nice little bump there, Vince. Who else we got jumping on there, actually? We got Check My Pulse is in the house. What's shaking Hexagon? Say good to see you, Check My Pulse. Hope you're doing well there. All right, so let's look at future moves. So Signum Oracle, this is imminent. Now, I was expecting it to launch today, but there is one little thing that needs to be checked on and done up. So I have talked to the founder of Signum Oracle today. So Signum Oracle here will be launching just slightly late. This is a big project, so have final little things checked up and made right is very important. So I have talked to the developer today, Stu, and these guys got one little thing left to do, and this will be up and running. This is major. This is huge. Just like on Ethereum, they have Chainlink. We don't have Chainlink on Pulsechain. We've got no Oracle. Oracles open up very sophisticated protocols onto Pulsechain. So this is a massive, massive deal. And a lot of the developers on Pulsechain and that want to come to Pulsechain but need an Oracle will now be able to do that once Signum Oracle is up. The other thing, of course, that also will allow people to become Oracle reporters and report on information. So just like on Pulsechain, we have validators validating the blockchain, and they earn Pulse for that. We're going to have people earning tips on the Signum Oracle running reporters. Now, I already seen in Telegram, Randy Alasky, a big influencer in the space, he's already looking at setting up a dedicated computer to run an Oracle reporter and get paid for it. So this is another way of getting paid as part of an infrastructure provider to support Pulsechain and the growth of Pulsechain. So really exciting, right? This is really, really cool. And this is not related to Richard Hart and his team or anything. This is just part of the developer community bringing some major infrastructure to Pulsechain. We know that Liquid Loans was going to bring it with the Fetch Oracle, but failed. And now we've got the Signum Oracle coming. Very, very important there. The other one, of course, is that this is going to provide price information, non-price information, and, of course, potentially tools like RNG generators, random number generators, things like that people need for casinos and stuff like that. So very, very cool. The one other thing I was going to say is that we will be covering this with the founder, doing a demo So look forward to that. That may be Monday, Tuesday. We'll see how we go there, but we're definitely very, very close. Just one little thing apparently to check on, and you want this to be right. Obviously, you get one chance to set this up. Now, in terms of information, if a particular project needs certain information, then a reporter can then isolate that and say, "Oh, I'll report that information and get paid for it," right? And the more that something gets called through a protocol, the more money they will make, right? Because they'll have to, report that information that's specifically being asked, like sports results, for example. All right, so that is pretty cool. That is coming up. Not too bad. Now, that's Signum Oracles. That's a big deal. And of course, I'm going to unleash a whole economy on Pulsechain. Pulsechain developers, boom. And I was going to say another one, of course, is ALGO, right? PUSD ALGO, that's coming. You can get a 90% referral link in the video description for that. If you do $1,000 inclusive referral, you can get a 2x bonus. So definitely check that out. And that is going to be huge. A massive, massive first algorithmic stablecoin on Pulsechain. And of course, massive earning potentials on the platform as well, coming from the world's best peer-to-peer developer, Jacob. So definitely check that out. And I've got plenty of videos. Just type in PUSD Algo into the chat, into the channel, and you'll be able to find those. So that's coming up as well. That needs the Oracle, right? So the Signum Oracle to be running for that too. So pretty cool. So that is the Pulsechain developers boom, GameFi, DeFi, killer apps, and I just showed you PUSD Algo, stablecoin, first algo. So like Terra Luna done right, full DeFi. Going to basically have LP wallets, bots, basically liquidity. You provide liquidity, and the bots go over and keep the dollar pegged. It's got some very cool mechanisms there, and many more applications will be launched using that Oracle. Now, this is the only caveat to the SE case victory. The judge gave the SEC 20 days to try and put together a better case if they thought they had one, although the case was so bad, it was easy to throw out. So the SEC approach drops lawfare 20 days to the 20th of March. So that's the only little thing. I see that as a very low probability, particularly under the new administration. So I don't know, is it 5% chance, 10% chance? For me, it's pretty damn low. The case was very weak, and we'll see. And with the new administration, they've been dropping cases left, right. XRP, Coinbase, and things. I really don't see it, but it's still out there, still some chance that may occur. So we'll see. But what does that also mean for the red notice that's on Richard Hart? Obviously, this takes away a lot of that sort of aspects, unless Europe thinks that there's an issue. Europe's a very draconian place, as we know. We'll see how that goes as well. Obviously, there was also a false claim there, in my view, about an assault on a 16-year-old. It's just ridiculous. Typical type of authoritarian state behavior. Single-side staking. We may see single-side staking coming for maybe one, if not all, of Richard Hart's tokens, particularly INC. We could see that. Pulsex, maybe. It's definitely a possibility that could pop up. We don't see that on Pulsex yet, right? So that could be there. That never occurred after the launch. So that's still a possibility, though. That would get a major supply sink and potentially additional buy pressure as well. So this is in addition to the buy and burn, which is sitting at about 6.5% of Pulsex. And this the inflation now on incentive tokens only 5%. So could be big too. PDI maker theory. There's a lot of evidence around for that the contracts copied over from Ethereum on the 10th of May last year were also not last year, 2023, were also are being supported, are being ramped up, and so we could see some major things happening there. If that does occur, it could be any contracts, the maker contract, compound, Aave contracts. So Richard's pretty clever like that. So we could see some major revaluation there. That could re-rate the asset value backing of the blockchain. Also provide a place for RH coins to go and be synced as collateral, and of course making even more money by making PDI $1. Whether that happens incrementally or instantaneously is to be seen, but that could be huge too. If anything in that space happens, just makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? In some ways, we got MVS in the house there. Created a game, a nice one, MVS. You have to talk about that in the Discord. Yeah, if you haven't joined the Discord, links in the video description. Join up today and meet lots of great creative people in there. All right, number 6, Magic Carp Ride. Well, we're going to talk about that. Magic Carp Ride's a little bit less magic today. Maybe black magic, I don't know. But because of Ethereum is down 41.5% on the entry price. So Richard Hart there had 645,000, or whoever controls the sacrifice wallets is sitting on $645,000 worth of Ethereum, 171,000 ETH, and the entry price for that into Ethereum from the stable coins was $3,773. Current price is $2,204. So the actual value of that 645 million and the Magic Carp ride is down 268 million. So pretty severe, 41.5%. But we've seen it move around a lot before, and it's currently worth $377 million. So you can see the history of that value going up and down. That yellow line is the break-even price, right? The purchase price. And you can see it went down. It's been above it. It's been down it for probably been down below it for a lot longer at the moment. And of course, it's been down in this area before. In fact, we're at an all-time low on the value. We're above. Look at that. We were above there back in December last year. We're actually above the value. We're up at almost at 700 million, and now we're back down here. Look at that, all the way down to 381 there. But we're actually slightly lower now, aren't we? Yeah, 377. So we're at an all-time low for the value here, reflecting the Ethereum price. So, but I think the Magic Carp ride's on hold at the moment. So just to remember that, we'll have to wait for Ethereum to start doing that big price rally, potentially up, to 10K or something like that. When we finally get the bull run on, right? The full-on bull run on altcoin season. So Magic Carp ride paused for the moment. Push the pause button. That is where we are at the moment. So, but that's definitely still in play. And of course, a new protocol linked to Pulsechain. We could see another protocol by Richard Hart coming out. We could see potentially also. I'm not suggesting the wallets, the wallet idea. Richard Hart had a roadmap. In fact, maybe we might revisit that roadmap and see what's come out. But the roadmap there, the roadmap that eventually leads to Hexaco, the big country, which many people would probably want to go to these days, given how authoritarian the West is becoming. So new protocol linked to Pulsechain. We could see that potentially. That could always come. Richard's full of great ideas, and then also Richard Hart streams, right? What happens if Richard Hart streams, man? No one. I don't know anybody. Honestly, let me know in the chat if you do. I don't know anybody that has high as engagement as Richard Hart did in the crypto community, where the founder or influencer, his engagement rates were through the roof, right? Very high engagement there, and of course, Richard Hart has a song that people like to hear, right? Has a song that people like to hear. Now, I often say that Richard Hart is great at market calls. He's not perfect, obviously, but he is, I would say, outstanding, if not genius, at market calls, right? So price calls, pretty good. Market calls, outstanding, like just almost clairvoyant. And of course, he helped save a lot of people when the markets were crashing, like the Terra Luna crash and things like that. He called out them all. And we even had so ridiculous that founders of those projects would say that Richard was the scammer and that they were the good guys, and they ended up being the baddies, and Richard Hart ended up being the good guy. So it's a pretty hilarious stuff there as well. So will Richard Hart stream? That'd be huge. I don't know if he's going to stream like he used to, but he could definitely do a stream here and there, and that would be pretty amazing. I think the community would love that. Now, times change, life's changed. He's getting older. He's got different things. He's still, got the red notice from Interpol on him. And of course, hopefully that will get taken off by his lawyers as well in due course, now that the court case in America has been, smashed down. But that is where we're at there. So Richard Hart streams, that'd be exciting. So even if he does, a couple streams a year, that'd be cool. Maybe one a quarter or something. He doesn't have to do it every week, but just get that excitement going. That'd be pretty neat. Now, blockchain is still growing without Richard, and he can work in the background with his team. People are doing a great job in his team in terms of developing. And we've got a huge suite of community devs as well. And like I say, with the Signum Oracle, it's likely to open up a whole ton more devs coming out of Pulsechain. And now we haven't got the SEC case hanging over our heads, so to speak, except excluding the 20-day window for any challenge. The chain's ready to explode, right? Get ready to explode. So Richard's genius tokenomics, and of course with the devs that are out there, man, this chain could really start to fly, right? Really start to fly. And the other one that's leads us into community growth, right? As the chain gets more valuable with all the clever tokenomics. No chain has the clever tokenomics like Richard Hart has, and of course all of the cool developers and influencers in the Pulsechain space. Community growth can really boom. And of course, that's a multiplier of value, right? So bring it on. Therefore, we're going to get, along with the market, we're going to get that big rally. We get that big boom in altcoin season. All this goes together these future moves, man, the chain could be absolutely go through the roof. And we've seen some really innovative tokenomics coming to Pulsechain, just like we talk about in Titanex, which I really love. Really like tokenomics. People trying to get to the Holy Grail, and the Holy Grail is, Richard Hart's definitely contributed to that side of the tokenomics. I think Jake Sharp has as well in his own way. I think Eric has his own way from DragonX. I think that Stevie D from Volt and his roadmap, particularly towards Bitcoin Genie, is hitting the frontier of DeFi 3.0, as well as people like the Dude and stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool things happening in the space that we don't see in other parts of crypto, right? Which is very cool. So yeah, really, really fun there. What else? We got a couple others there. We got Kirby says the cycle already topped out. President launching own coin is the biggest top ever. Hey, look, well, no, we still got potentially a lot of the crypto policies coming, as well as the SEC. So that's not done at all. That's still to come, in my view. So yeah, we could see stuff around Bitcoin Reserve, things like that, and action in Congress and stuff. So still early days for that. It's only been 20th of January when Trump took over. So what's that, 5 weeks? So yeah, it's still early days. And he's been doing executive orders every couple of days at least. It's been pretty crazy. Yoden in the house there would love the 8 hours Richard Hart live stream. That'd be pretty neat, right? Well, he did 7 hours when he launched Hex. Do you remember? Remember Hex? He did 7 hour live stream, which I've played on this. You can find that stream on this channel as well. Played bits and pieces of that. Got a short version of it with the start and beginning, but that was 7 hours when he did Hex. Man, I don't know. Let me know if you're watching and you were in the that live stream when Richard Hart launched Hex on I think what was the 2nd of December 2019. Let me know if you were in that. That was pretty exciting. Obviously, the Pulsechain and Hex sacrifices were pretty exciting because Richard had done 10,000 Hex, being one of the top 4 tokens in the 2021 boom. Yeah, so let me know. That was pretty fun times, right? Pretty special. And you really don't get that anywhere else. I mean, you can go listen to fireside chats with Hodgkinson or a few other influencers out there, but really Richard is the rebel. He is the king of crypto, really. So yeah, Yoden says I was there. Yeah, it was a pretty special time, wasn't it? It was pretty cool. And I remember the AA lobby had like 1 billion Hex up for grabs, and I think it was 21,000 Hex. 21,000 Ethereum. Went into there approximately for that 1 billion. It was a pretty amazing time. And Richard was saying before, don't FOMO in day one, don't FOMO in day one. And of course, everyone do FOMO, they FOMO big time. That's hilarious. So it was a bit of a time. And of course, then the Pulsechain sacrifice was pretty amazing. Getting a huge amount of money. If you add the Hex in, I think it was 1.3 billion or something like that. It was pretty big if you add the Hex in. So pretty crazy stuff there. All right, so that is some of the stuff, the future that we could see on the chain, and that would make it an ultra valuable chain. And I'm talking about it could be worth a lot with some of these mechanisms competing for some of the top spots in crypto. We know that Richard originally was keen to try and do that, become one of the most valuable chains on the planet. We're already number 6 on Deck Screen also in terms of volume, but we're talking about being 1, 2, 3 spots. And of course, opening up a lot of capital. I do think we need, even with the tokenomics, we still need a lot of institutional value eventually, but we'll see what happens in that space too. All right, so that was pretty cool on that one. That brings us to Titanex. So we're going to switch whole chains now. We're jumping from Pulsechain over to Titanex now to give an update on here. And here is Titanex on the hourly. It has made a bit of a rebound. We saw that yesterday it was climbing up. And then, of course, the Pulsechain around here, the Pulsechain news came out about the SEC victory, and we saw 1 or 2 large holders sell down and probably switched over. I haven't tracked them, but they probably did switch over to Pulsechain. Since that time, we have then had another pump. Another big buyer came in here, pumped it up, and we're back up here again. So it looks like we bottomed out around about 6 zeros, 1840. We're now at 6 zeros, 2017 at the moment. So nice little rebound there for the old Titanex. Now looking on the daily, that is our little bounce back. Have we found the bottom? That's the question. Is March going to be green? And have we found the bottom of Titanex? That is the question there. We're at 1800 at the moment. We bounced off 1800 and we're now at 2074 with 6 zeros. Now, as you guys, that's US dollar price. And you can see the sort of the first wave that we had, and then the second wave. We found the bottom of that second wave, and are we about to go up for that wave 3, right? Let's have a look at the wrapped ETH. That's probably more important to me. And we can see wave 1 there, wave 2. We've definitely bounced off 10 zeros, 7,600. We're now at 10 zeros, 9,400. So that's actually a pretty good little bounce there at the moment. But we've got a bit of work to do. First of all, we've got to lose a zero. and that's just ahead of us at the moment, not far ahead of us at all. So we might do that very much tomorrow. It's definitely plausible. We are coming into the Sunday, which is normally a lazy day, but we'll see whether we can slowly creep up there and lose a zero there on the old ratio Titanex. Now, obviously, Titanex, all the buy and burns have been turned off. And so that's just sitting there. But hey, nice little 12.4% gain today. We'll take that. And Dragon App's 19%, buy and burn turned off as well. So what do we mean? Buy and burns turned off. How many tokens out there actually have backing? Not many. Not many have DAOs that have asset backings on them. And these have buy and burn. So it's an asset backing that's a buy and burn. So you know that Wave 3 is going to be pretty glorious. And we also know that they've got their Omni-chain strategy and they're doing a lot of building for that with multiple products going over to base chain. Probably at least 10 or more is my guess there at the moment based on numbers between the different developers. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And also taking over a lot of tokenomics and projects that are not even on base chain. So that's going to be exciting to see those play out as well. Now, we've got DragonX there up 90%. Not bad. The ratio has bounced as well. 6.9 Titanex. It was at 6.44, I think it was yesterday. So it's a nice ratio bounce and picking up the benefit of Titanex as well. X28 is still lagging a little bit in the ratio, 0.89 X28 versus Titanex. Remember, X28 is the omni-chain version of Titanex. That's up 40% at the moment, so lagging a little bit there. That's probably an indication of the fact that we only have one project over on X28 at the moment, and that is actually we have two. Sorry, my bad. We have two. We have one on Ethereum, which is Shogun. At least I think we actually have two actually on Ethereum. We have Shogun, and then we have another one, and then of course we only have one X28 project over on base chain though, and that is Uranus, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Hyper and Hydra minting's out. The buy and burn is huge. This is massive. Watch out for these ones. These are probably very obvious plays, particularly because the buy and burn's turned off, and if they turn those on, man, it's going to be massive re-rate and price here. That is up 17% today, and the ratio at 0.1 DragonX. Pretty good damn play, if you ask me. And of course, now's the time to pick that up if you're looking at that. Volt at the moment is at 9,200 ratio to Titanex, up 22%. You guys know the roadmap for Volt is amazing. It's got Ouroboros collateral, Thunder Volt staking, which shares the LP fees, and then of course Bitcoin Genie coming up, which is going to benefit Volt in unique ways as well through the perpetual auction. So that is going to be a pretty amazing, burning through maybe around about 600,000 tokens or so a day. That is ticking away there. The supply is going down, down, down. The demand upside potential is up. So looking forward to that as well. Inferno and all its project is going over to Omni-chain on base chain. That's up 7% at the moment. That's got one of the three highest burns, right? The three highest burns are Titanex, 55%, Inferno, 55%, and that's from Crypto Utah there. And also down here is Viper at 55%. They're the highest burns there. Now, let's go through a couple more of these. Morpheus up 40%, woohoo, on top of DragonX, right? Benefiting from DragonX. DragonX is up 19%, and Titanex is up 11%. So Morpheus there on DragonX, on Titanex is up 40%. Nice little leverage play there. That's the whole design, right? And that is from Brandon, a big influence in the Pulsechain Hex community, and also a developer, right? Developer as well, got a developer team. And they've got stuff coming down the line. Probably maybe a V3 Dex to base and the Pulsechain, my guess there. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see where that heads. What else they got going down here? We're going to go scroll all the way down to Tink token at 4.5 cents, up 30%. Nice. Anything that benefits Tink is going to be beneficial. And we know we've got a brand new project that launched, Vibernex there, launched overnight. We're going to talk about that in a second. Element, of course, 280 is going over to base chain. It's going to take its friends, Element 369, and it's also going to take over. It's also going to take over Baby DragonX from James, and that's all coming over to base chain, and that's going to increase the volume. And of course, they're all going to be paired to Element 280, and then of course paired with Uranus as well, which is up 16% at the moment. But the ratio of Uranus is at 1.9 here at the moment, and I'm talking about the planet. I'm talking about the planet. Yeah. Now, if you want to join up Strategy Club to find out more, links in the video description. Only $35 a month. Well worth joining up there. I'm passing intel in there every single day. So join up to there. I've got a big update going in there today as well. Join up the Strategy Club. Link is in the video description. Join up that one now. All right. So we're back up at 3,400. Now, obviously, I consider Titanex a longer term play. So if you see them, even though the market's come down that second wave and the hyperdeflation narrative didn't play out, right? That's due to people selling out of that and competing protocols, Ethereum, other stuff rallying at different times, affecting that market, Trump token, etc. The fundamentals are still there for the big long-term play. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. So even though there's a wave 2 down, where it's been pretty brutal as well, we are expecting a pretty incredible wave 3 on the back end there. So really, a lot of these projects that I cover are generally longer-term holds. Sometimes they can disappoint in certain phases of that long-term value gain, but if you're patient and you manage to manage it well, you come up the other side with those massive gains. The other thing, of course, you can always risk management at any part of the chart as well, so just take that into account. But at the moment, Uranus is doing very, very well on the price. Look at that, nice, up nice, and the ratio even better. Look at this ratio. OMG. So that is going very, very well at 1.9 now. So if you put in a mint, if you did the mint, 1-to-1 mint it was, you're now almost at 2-to-1. So you're really winning there, X28. So for one X28 you put in, you almost got 2 X28 back at the moment. And of course, it's just beginning. Now, the other big thing is the buy and burn party hasn't even been started yet. The buy and burn got turned down, and they're going to have a big buy and burn party. So watch this chart. Could really go crazy. If it goes crazy and it gets picked up by the base chain community, which is a meme community, this could really take off. We could see some big money going in here, and it's got a 12% reflection there. We could see more MEV bot activity too as Element comes in, and they all get paired up with all those Element 369, Element 280, and of course a baby Dragon X and stuff like that. Helios as well. This could all get pretty crazy. So it's a good time. It's a good time. So I'm glad I have covered that project there from the dude and from James there as well. So some good stuff happening there. Now let's have a look at Titan Tink Farm here. It's at 4.5 cents, up 30%, pretty good there. But also it benefited from a new project that launched, which is it on here? It's supposed to be on here, but I don't see it. Vibermex. Oh, it's been delayed. So Vibermex looks like it's been delayed. Except that was on a countdown to launch overnight, but it does look like it's been delayed. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring up that there. More details to follow. 1st of March. Well, we're already past that, so I'm not sure what's happened to Vibernex there. Is it not launched? Let's have a quick check here. I haven't checked this, so I'm doing it live here. Launch date 15th. So they've delayed that to 15th. So Vibernex, which benefits Titanx, has been delayed for until the 15th of March. So there we go. That was pretty cool. Right. What else there? We're going to go through Ouroboros, see what Ouroboros is looking at the moment. So it's the big lending platform and stablecoin. I just got to make sure I've covered everything else on here. Well, let's go have a look at Ouroboros, the big lending platform. Now, obviously, as asset values go up and down in Titanx, which is at the bottom of wave 2, finding the bottom, then this is going to affect the values. But at the moment, I think it's been a very successful launch, despite the fact where the Titanx ecosystem is at the moment. So let's have a look at that. Bam. All right. We're sitting at about 1.125. That's right, 1.25 million yesterday. So let's see where we are today. 1.6. Oh, yeah. That's a big jump. 1.125 million to 1.6. That's awesome. We're almost at all-time highs. Actually, we're not too far from it. So that's pretty cool. Oh my goodness! Look at that. We got 5 trillion Titanx going there. So maybe that's what helped pump the chart today with that big buy that we saw. 5 trillion in there, and that means they've issued tariffs. So that's jumped from 4.4 to 5. So it's 600 billion Titanx gone in there. That's huge. And so we're at over $1 million of Titanx collateral. Fantastic. And Dragon X there at 392 billion, just under 560 million there. Now, at the moment, you can only collateralize Titanx and Dragon X, but we know that ORX, Ethereum, and Vault are likely to be the next collaterals. And therefore, that's going to expand the asset base and the lending, and potentially a little bit of leverage too back into the Titanx system there. Pretty cool. USDX staking, which is people issue stablecoins, that's gone up to 770%. So that's up 270%. We saw it at 500%. So that's really bounced back as well. So like I say, when we start going up this wave 2, could get pretty glorious. And if you get bigger, it's all self-fulfilling, right? The bigger the yields, the more people come in. Guys know how it works. Now, I was going to look at one more thing, wasn't I? What was I going to look at? The liquid supply, given the fact that Ouroboros got about 600 billion Titanx in it, what's happened to the Titanx supply? Let's go have a look at the supply numbers. So we're at 98.3 trillion, so not really much change there. The liquid supply, 65.4. 65.4 trillion is liquid, which is $13.6 million. And remember, the buy and burn is part of this. Buy and burn's all turned off. Is sitting at 9.8. So massive backing to this project. So like I say, it's just a longer term hold at the moment. So just remember that, yeah, it's been more brutal. Hyperinflation narrative didn't play out, but the asset backing, buy and burn, the Omni chain is still ahead of us. So pretty cool there. Now, the other thing I was going to look at was the stake. So stake actually come down. So stake was sitting just around 8 trillion. That is now just below 7.9 trillion. So that's actually come down about 100 billion there. That's interesting. That's got to go somewhere. And the BOT protocol is sitting just below 25 trillion, which I think has gone up, obviously reflecting probably the Ouroboros the Now we can look at the stats here. We can see the total amount. DragonX, they're 18.5 trillion Titanx gone through that system. Hyper is 15.25. X28 is 14.1. That's going to continue to grow. X28, obviously, as we Omni-chain grows, right? That's what's going to get probably pretty massive. Should take out DragonX at the top because 50% of the Titanx that goes into X28 gets burned. It's a very powerful mechanism. We haven't even seen that really flourish yet. But that is what we're looking forward to in the future. And then number two. So we've got this big buy and burn, right, in ETH, and then we've got this big burn in X28. It's magic, right? It's magic. So even though it's brutal at the moment, you got to see the future in the V3 in the next wave, right? So a lot of people can't see it; they just see the current thing. Oh, it's down, and it is. It's been brutal, but the upside is potentially massive, right? So it's just a bit of patience there. Now the other one, of course, Shogun's still ticking away there at 10 trillion as well, and Ouroboros at 9.25. Keep a lookout. So that 9.25 is the 4 trillion through the RRX minting, plus we just hit 5 trillion there in the collateral. I'm not sure if this is quite showing that up, but that is where we're at, 4.5. Yeah, that's about right, actually. So 9.2. So watch this. Is going to get bigger too. It's going to get bigger as well. So I'm very confident that with more assets going into it, the more confidence the prices start going back up, is probably going to accelerate as well. So we could have some real big movers eating up Titanx and X28. We got X28 doing that. We got Shogun. We got Ouroboros. Do you see the vision? We got Volt coming up potentially as well. Going to benefit the Bitcoin Genie, going to benefit that too. So I hope you guys can see the vision. It's pretty crazy. And then you got all these dials, buy and burns, turn them all on. You got the big Omni chain thing. You got more influencers, more people coming in. The chart itself takes off. It could be pretty glorious. You just got to be patient and watch that through. So I'm pretty excited about that. And we've got probably some more comments. Let's see who else has jumped in here. We got a Skojack in house there. Awesome show as usual. Hey, appreciate that, Skojack. Shout out to you. We've got Brian, our community leader in the house there. What's up, folks? Hey, Brian, hope you made it. He says, I'm late, but I made it. Hey, big shout out to Brian, our community leader. Does incredible stuff there. Big shout out to you. All right. I think that's it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I just realized I forgot to use my full screen there for the charts, but hey, I remembered yesterday and I forgot today. Brian's going to have to keep on to me for that one for sure. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be doing another show later on today. Catch me then. If you like politics or sports, I don't know what it's going to be at this stage. I got a couple of ideas, but we're going to play out one of those. Like I say, if you want to join the Strategy Club, links in the video description. $35 a month. We get plenty of intel going through there. Got a big update today. If you want to join the Discord, it's $5 a month. Pretty cool cup of coffee. And of course, our latest offering there is a one-to-one with myself, talking about crypto, personalized to yourself, and of course, finance and things like that. Definitely well worth considering one a month there as well. So get on that. That's only $99 a month on that one. So check that out. All right. I think that's it. I think we're going to finish up there. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. I'll catch you in the next show. Take care, everybody, and bye for now.